Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and I want to talk about the perpetrator in the Netflix documentary, which is like number one right now. Uh, Unknown Number, the high school catfish. Uh, wow. I've had so many people just saying, Pat, would you talk about this case? Would you talk about it? And I watched the documentary, and I want to say right up front, watch the documentary. Okay. And if you don't want to be have me ruin your surprise because I'm going to talk about the perpetrator, stop right now. Just put this on pause and go and watch the Netflix documentary and come back when you've finished it. It is excellent. It's fascinating, but they leave out some things which I really want to bring up because, well, I'm going to consider this a public service announcement for families, for teens, for schools, and also for people to understand specific perpetrators and why we tend to downplay this kind of perpetrator. And I think we need to stop doing that. And so I want to also mention that I have not monetized this video. I'm getting no advertising on here. So you should see no advertising. I'm making no money off this video because I want to talk to you plain and straight. And I know, I know YouTube will then probably demonetize the video anyway, and they'll also put a black mark against my name and maybe pull the video. And I want people to be able to actually watch this video. So I will ask you to help out here. Please do subscribe to the channel. That can help, just help the channel in general. This is an educational channel. And if you'd like to contribute to the channel, in this case, please do click the little $ for super thanks. And I would very much appreciate that. Okay, but most important, I want you to hear this message. Okay, I want you to understand what I'm going to tell you. All right, I've spoken long enough. So one last chance. If you don't want to know who the perpetrator is right now and you want to go watch this documentary first, again, stop the video, go watch it. Because in one couple minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly who the perpetrator is. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to read to you from People, which is not one of my favorite websites anymore. They're pretty pitiful, but they have enough information in here, and I want to use this for the background so that if you haven't watched this video, this documentary, you'll know what I'm talking about, and I can put everything kind of in order. And they say some things in here in the People article, which is straight from the documentary, which tells you what the issues are in the documentary that I want to actually talk about. All right, Netflix's new documentary, Unknown Number, the High School Catfish, visits one of the most shocking cyberbullying cases in recent memory. And I will absolutely say it was shocking. Even for a criminal profiler, this was unbelievable. When a Michigan mother, that one, was unmasked as a person tormenting her own daughter. And this is why what I'm going to tell you is so important. I'm going to talk about bullying. I'm going to talk about cyberbullying. I'm going to talk about what you need to help your teens with. I wrote this book way back when, How to Save Your Daughter's Life. But it's on Amazon, but there's the only version available right now is audio, and I wouldn't buy it if I were you, because it's not my voice. It's a very syrupy woman's voice, and I just can't stand it. If you would like to get this right now, go get a used copy someplace. I will be putting this book out. I just got the rights back, so I'll be putting it out as a paperback and in digital, but I got to get around to doing it. But I did write this book because when your daughter or son is being bullied, cyberbullied, the horrific damage it can do is just frightening, especially in a day where everybody has a cell phone. Your kids have a cell phone, your grandkids have a cell phone, and they're on it all the time. And there's a lot of stuff going on there, which is so damaging and leads them to want to harm themselves, which is one reason, if I say those words right here, harm themselves, take their own lives, commit suicide, I'm going to say those words because they're important to say the words for real. I'm not going to go unaliving that unalive crap. The word is suicide. And it's not well liked to use that word on YouTube. But I think it's important because we need to understand what things are so we can save our children. from these kind of things. All right, so let me continue. So this woman was actually the cyber stalker torturing her own daughter. In Beale City, Michigan, teenagers Lauren Licari and Owen McKinney were once known as the golden couple. And this is this happy young couple. And they were, I think, about 14 years old when this cyberbullying started, as cyber stalking. But they were inseparable since junior high. But their lives were thrown into chaos in October 2020 when they began receiving strange text messages from an anonymous number. The text eventually stopped, only to start again a year later. The anonymous messages, which at times reached 40 to 50 a day. That's a lot. And this is a bombardment. It's the opposite of love bombing. It's hate bombing, where that poor teen is looking at their phone and getting nothing but hate, hate, hate. And I will say this: when you watch this documentary, you're going to see how despicable, absolutely despicable, these messages were. These messages, highly sexual in nature, revolting, and also saying especially to Lauren, the young girl, you are ugly, you're disgusting, nobody would want you, your boyfriend doesn't want you, he wants me, he doesn't want you, you're grotesque, you're icky, and on. Why don't you kill yourself? Somebody saying that to a teenage girl who, this is a time of life where we all know that we've been teenage girls and boys, if you're past being a teenager, and that you're very vulnerable to people being cruel and taking it to heart. And this is the first thing I want to say before I go on any further. You need to teach your daughters and granddaughters and sons and grandsons that stalkers and bullies and psychopaths, because this is what many of them are, especially this one, which is why I call this particular video Unknown Psycho. She's not so unknown anymore, but I will stick with the psychopath. And they never mentioned that word in the documentary, which bothers me. Because when you have a child who's being bullied like that, the person who's doing the bullying has a personality disorder. I guarantee you that. Nice, normal people, nice, normal teens don't do that to other human beings. And as a person who's had a YouTube channel for a long time, along with being on television for many, many years, I receive a tremendous amount of cyberbullying, vicious stuff. Some of it due to my age, old crone, ugly old bitch, and then attacks on my credibility as a criminal profiler. Things like, you're a has-been, you never were a bin, But so I get nasty, nasty comments. I mean, a lot of them vicious. And when I first started doing television work back in 2000, 25 years ago, I got my first negative comment through email, and I remember being shocked because I wasn't used to have that kind of horrible thing being put at me. And there I was trying to, to explain crimes and things, and suddenly somebody's saying this nastiness toward me. And I remember being shocked. I remember my sister sitting next to me going, "Oh my God, who would do that?" Well, that was just the beginning. And after a while, they were like, and then I got to the point where you better get tough, or you're gonna get, you gotta, like, as they say, you're gonna have to leave the kitchen there. I would start joking. Well, with all the hate comments I get, I could paper an entire house with them. It got worse with YouTube, because YouTube is easier, because instead of having to actually send a real email, you, with your actual email address, right, you can anonymously throw crap all over the comment section. And I get massive amounts of comments that are nasty as all get out. And I block, when I can, but most of the time I can't see all of them. Does it affect me? Well, for the most part, no, because I'm used to it. But I'm going to say it's still not nice to get those things when you get the cruel comments like that. And I am a person who is seasoned in dealing with it. Your child is not seasoned in that. Your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter, whatever, is not a teenage kid, is not going to be able to handle that like I can handle it. And by the way, I chose to be in the public eye. Your kids did not, but they are on phones, and that puts them in the, well, it's enough of the public eye. So the problem is they are naive, they're tender, they're easily upset, and to have a 14-year-old girl get texts that say, "You're ugly, you're disgusting, your boyfriend wants to be with me and not you. You're horrible. You should kill yourself. You should take yourself out. You don't deserve to live." I mean, unbelievable what this poor girl had to deal with, the massive amount of vicious comments toward her. And then her boyfriend, of course, was getting some too. And then turned out that they were, I'll read some more of this. All right. The sender, so that was up to 40 to 50 a day. So one of the problems you have with psychopaths is that they can become obsessive, and they're into what they're doing. So they put a lot of effort into what they're doing. Okay. And so the anonymous messages up to 40, 50 a day accused Owen, this is the boyfriend, of cheating, and targeted Lauren with threats. The sender used an app that constantly generated new phone numbers, which meant blocking the harassment was impossible. That's the first question I have, was like, and I want to point this out to you. If your children are on Facebook, they should accept nobody but friends. There should be no strangers on their Facebook page. And when they have access to other social media or just texting, you have to help them weed out anything that is inappropriate. You have to teach them. This is why it's so important to me to say this to you. You have to teach them that anybody who says mean things to you is an abusive, horrible bully. And they need to stop it ASAP. Don't accept it. Don't put up with it. Get rid of that creepo. I block. And I've had people go, you just can't accept differing opinions. I'm like, I can accept differing opinions. What I can't accept is when you call me names. Block. When you insult me, block. When you attack my age, block. When you say I'm incompetent, block. Same thing for your kid. If they start calling your kid fat, ugly, whatever, block. You have to work with your teen to help them understand that they should not allow themselves to be abused by psychopaths. And some of those psychopaths are teens. Don't allow it. Tell them it has nothing to do with you, quite frankly. It is not you who is the problem. And the thing is, teens take it personally, because even as an adult, it's hard not to take things personally when people are attacking you and calling you names and saying your whatever terrible things about you. It's so hard as an adult to accept that. But even as an adult, you have to say, abuse toward me is not acceptable. Even if you don't appreciate my channel, you think I'm an idiot profiler, whatever you think of me, just go away, go to another channel, find somebody you like. If you feel a necessity to insult me and harass me and be mean to me, the problem is you, not me. That's what you have to teach your teen. So if some other teen doesn't like your teen, they should just go someplace else and find some friends they like. So if they feel a necessity to say to your teenage child or grandchild, "Oh, you ugly, you just whatever," then you need to help your, not tell them, because they don't accept telling. You have to help them. Be proactive and say, "Hey, you got to be like, you got to control things. Don't let this piece of garbage, this psychopath, help them understand that this person has a personality disorder. Don't just tell, oh, they're just being teens. No, they're not. Teens are not mean people. If you think all teens are mean people, wow, that's unfortunate. Many teens are lovely people. Most teens are lovely people. If there's a teen out there who is nasty and a bully and all that kind of stuff, they probably have a personality disorder. And your teen needs to learn that some of these teens are personality disorder people. They have psychological problems which they should not be involved with. And if that person attacks them, it's an attack. It's abuse. Don't allow abuse. You got it. Again, don't tell them. Help them understand not to allow abuse. You are, regardless of what anybody thinks of you, nobody should be abusing you. We don't all like each other. We don't all want to be friends with each other, but being abusive toward another person is wrong. So if you're being abused, get that person away from you. Block them out. Say, I don't need to deal with you because you have a problem, not me. I'm not going to deal with it. Anyway, moving on. So anyway, the center used an app generated new phone numbers, which is very clever. And there's one of the problems that they had when they were trying to investigate, because to say usually you can block people. I block people all the time. I block emails. I block texts. I block comments on my YouTube channel. I block. But if you've got people coming in on your text over and over and over again that come from unknown numbers, and sometimes you'll get that with people trying to sell you crap. And what these computer generated things, and they get through whatever things are supposed to block that. And over and over you get this garbage, and it's really annoying, especially if you can't. I have a silence unknown callers on my phone because I don't want to be woken up at 4 a.m. by some whatever, some person trying to sell me something. But sometimes you can't stop it because we don't have good technology to stop this kind of stuff. So when she was getting all these 40, 50 a day, and so was her boyfriend, they didn't know they couldn't block them because they didn't know where the heck they were coming from. You can't block an unknown caller. It's like, it was very clever. So that was kind of a hint that this might not be a teenager. But the sheriff was involved in trying to figure out what was going on. That was Mike Main. There's a lot of parents who are super angry at Mike Main because I think, he started investigating everybody in the school, all the other kids, which, first of all, usually bullying comes from other children in the school. So he was looking into all the different issues, and so a lot of parents are mad at him, but he was doing what he could. And then eventually when he figured out he couldn't figure it out, he actually did go to the FBI, this guy named Bradley Peter. And he was the one that was able to go to the companies, and he was able to get them to turn over the information needed to identify where the original number came from. And it was her. That's how the case was solved. So I don't have any, Mike Main, I think, did what he could. And then he went to the FBI and asked for technology help. And so good job, in my opinion, because it was a crazy case. All right. But okay. So now let's go on. So law enforcement initially struggled to trace the source, which they did. The bullying stretched on for about 2 years. This is important to understand. If you don't stop bullying, the bullier can be very obsessive. Same thing with stalkers. I've had quite a number of stalkers in my life as a profiler, and they will not stop. And people say, Pat, how do you stop a stalker? Well, number one, you have to cut off all communications, 100%. Even if you don't, you can say one time, do not ever contact me again. But once you said that, you can't ever respond to them again in any way, shape, or form. I've had people send me presents. Stalkers send me presents. And what they were looking forward to was my response to the present, or even returning it. Because if I returned it, it meant I signed something to have it returned. Oh my God, she signed it. So what I would do is completely the present would arrive. No response. Thank you for the chocolates, though, and those cool movies. But anyway, I didn't respond, so they didn't know what happened with their package because they had no idea if I touched it. So I don't respond to emails, don't respond to letters, don't respond to anything. That's how you stop stalkers, because they will keep going and going and going. But if you don't respond, they will eventually get bored. But if they can see a result, even one time, they're back on it again because they did it. They got you to respond. So that's a very important thing. But they will go on and on. So this bullying went on for 2 freaking years. And the reason it went on for 2 years is because she was behind it. And she got the response from her daughter every time her daughter got those in. She's like, oh, honey, well, let's work on this. Let's help. She was being the doting mother, the mother who was trying to help her daughter. All right. So the culprit turned out to be none other than Lauren's own mother, Kendra Licari. And let me just show you a picture of the family. This is Sean Licari, who's the dad, Kendra Licari, and Lauren Licari. And this gets, please stay with this video because I want to explain what happened to each one of these people as they understood what she had done, what their response was, especially the daughter, which really, really upsets me. And I'm going to speak straight to the daughter by the end of this video. Okay. So where is Kendra Licari now? This one. Here's everything we know. Okay. Kendra Licari. Before her arrest, Kendra, who was born in 1980, lived a seemingly ordinary life in Beale City. She was married to her husband, Sean, and she coached their daughter, Lauren, in sports like baseball and basketball. She worked in the IT department at Ferris State University. Now, a lot of the people who knew her said, well, she seemed like a nice person. She did nice things for people. And that's what this kind of psychopath does. Oh, yes, psychopath. I will say that, and I will say it over and over again. I am not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. But I do have a brain as a criminal profiler, and so should you, to recognize a person who is exhibiting psychopathy. I can't say she's a psychopath, but I can say she sure acts like one. But people but she did nice things. Well, one of the things psychopaths do is do nice things. Why do they do nice things? So if you're in a relationship with a psychopath, you need to know this. They do nice things because it gets them attention as being nice people. It takes a lot of suspicion away. For example, Lucy Letby, who was convicted of killing a whole bunch of babies in the UK. Now people are saying she didn't do it because that's what people do, because they can't believe women could do these things. And Lucy seemed like such a nice person because she worked at being a nice person in other circumstances so that you would not suspect her. That's what they do. So she did lots of nice things for people. Now, how can I help you with this? Can I do that? Oh, let me bring you dinner because you're sick. All that kind of crap. Because then you say, oh, she couldn't be a bad person because she's so nice. People would I'm not that nice. People would probably think I'm more likely to be a psychopath than her because I don't do as many of those kind of overdone, gushy stuff. You know what I mean? But she does, so therefore she must be a nice person. Okay. All right. So meanwhile, her closest friends, including her cousin Melissa Perry and Lauren's boyfriend, mom Jill McKinney, said, we were pretty close growing up. She was fun, outgoing, the life of the party. She does like attention. And there's your big, huge. That's your clue. The need for excessive attention. You always, even by doing good things, you're always getting that attention. Doing bad things, you get attention too. As far as being a good person, she was. No, she wasn't a good person. And this, just because you do good things doesn't make you a good person. Psychopaths are bad people. They just do good things for cover. You will sometimes get for example, a man who has a wife and 2 children, and he's a baseball coach, and everybody's like, oh, he was such a good person. And then one day his wife and kids are dead in the house, and he says, I don't know, somebody came in and killed them. Yeah, he did. But people go, but he was a good person. No. Essentially, the wife is a beard. You know what a beard is? Somebody who covers up who you really are. He gets her because she makes him look like a decent citizen. Look, a woman was willing to marry me. I have a wife. I'm a good guy. And also he gets sex and she cooks and stuff, those things are useful. And then he has a couple kids. Those are beards too. Look, I have children. I'm a good guy. And the children, as long as they're young enough, oftentimes they're like, oh, you're wonderful, daddy. And he gets all the praise and he likes that. But serial killers have children and wives, but they're out there killing women right and left or whatever. So it's a cover. The niceness is a cover. There are truly nice people in the world. Yes, they don't need a cover because they're actually nice people. That's not a nice person. And I want her daughter to know this. And I'm going to talk to her daughter at the end of this. All right. Then in 2021, Kendra suddenly changed, according to her family and friends. This coincided with the time that she quit her job at Ferris State after being placed on performance improvement plan. In other words, she was becoming a problem. However, she didn't tell her loved ones about losing her role, instead maintaining she was working from home and feigning work calls. She's a pathological liar. So this woman lost her job, and now she's lying to her family. And she's manipulating the money. And I want to point this out. Sean Licari, who did divorce her, thank God almighty, as did, remember Sherry Papini, the woman who faked her kidnapping? Keith Papini did divorce Sherry Papini, thank God almighty, and has custody of the children. And I will credit Sean with doing the same thing. He has custody of his daughter. And Kendra has not been able to see her daughter since she's been arrested and convicted. However, I will say Sean Licari and also Keith Papini are what I call dolts. Now, I say this in a sweet way. When I say dolts, what I mean is a person who is likely a psychopath and exhibits Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where they need to get attention by doing things or causing things to happen so they can get attention, usually have a husband. Usually, by the way, Munchausen syndrome is usually female. It's a female trait of a psychopath. Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Let me explain. Let me stop and explain. Munchausen syndrome is when a person claims things have happened to them or does things to themselves, like smash their head into the kitchen cabinet and then claim their husband hit them. They claim they've been raped. They've claimed this. They've claimed that. They claim things. Some of them, they actually damage themselves. They actually damage themselves and then claim that they were damaged by that other person. Usually are female. This is a female way of psychopathy. Very few male psychopaths do that kind of thing, but females do that kind of thing. And so Munchausen syndrome isn't really a syndrome. It's not some kind of psychological disturbance. No, Munchausen syndrome is a behavior of a female psychopath. That's how they get their attention and they manipulate people. Munchausen syndrome by proxy is when you use children to do the same thing. The children can be your own children, so you'll get people who kill their children one after the babies die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But because every time the baby dies, they get a great funeral. And they get, oh my God, and they get a lot of attention. And then they get pregnant again, they get a lot of attention. And then the baby's born, and then they have to take care of the stupid thing. So then if the baby dies, they get a lot of attention. So that's Munchausen syndrome by proxy. If you're killing babies, sometimes they don't kill the baby. Sometimes what they do is make their children sick, so they go to the doctors all the time, and that gets them attention. Or kids aren't even sick, but they claim, oh, my child was choking last night on whatever, and then get all kinds of tests done. Whatever gets them attention by abusing their children, but nobody realizes they're the abuser. So she was sending text messages to her daughter and to her daughter's boyfriend and to other. She was using her child to gain attention for herself. That's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but it is not a disease. It is simply a behavior of female psychopaths. So let's go on. So she lost her job and she lied to her family. Oh, I was talking about adults. Sorry, I got distracted. So Keith Papini and Sean Licari are. When I use the word dolt, I use this word a lot. People who know my shows will know I use this word. Dolt does not mean he's not a nice guy. Dolt means he's the kind of guy who is very accepting because he's that kind of guy. I mean, sometimes dolts are great people to be married to, because they're very easygoing, and they're like, okay, you can do whatever you want. And hey, if I get food and sex, and hey, I'm a dude. If I get food and sex, I'm good, And sometimes they're just the nicest guys in the world. But the problem is they're the nicest guys in the world. And so I used the word dolt in the sense that they don't recognize what is going on around them. As long as their basic needs are met and the mate is being sweet to them, they fall for it. And they go on about their business and they assume that everything's okay. Keith Papini thought everything was okay until Sherry Papini played that trick on him. Finally, he got like, I've been adult. And I'm pretty sure, because what I've seen is Sean Licari woke up and he went, oh my God, I've been adult. And thank God he and Keith Papini have both now protecting their children as best they can. Thumbs up on it. I mean, you're just nice guys. And that's the problem. Sometimes you're just too nice. Too nice. Anyway, let's see. Okay. So she lost her job and she's lying to her family because she's a pathological liar. Psychopaths are pathological liars. Keep that in mind. And this is important for her daughter to understand. Your mother lied to you. Then she lied to you when she did what she did to you. She lied to you after what she did to you. She needs to kick her mother out of her life. And I'm going to get to that. All right. Then, okay, so she became, her friend said, she became more introverted, didn't reach out as much. I guess more self-absorbed. No, she's always been self-absorbed. Get out of here. So next part. Why did Kendra Licari catfish her own daughter? Why did she? Okay, Lauren and Owen, this happy couple, began receiving the strange text messages from an unknown number in October of 2020. These early messages were sporadic and relatively mild, making Lauren and Owen think it was simply a prank. Kendra has denied being behind the original messages because you're a pathological liar. The detectives think she was behind the original messages, but she says, oh, no, I wasn't behind those. Get out of here. Of course you were. She later said in the documentary that she only started sending texts to Lauren and Owen 11 months later in an attempt to identify the person responsible for the first harassment incidents. I was sending messages in the hopes that they might send back asking, is this so-and-so? I started with a thought, we need some answers. And then it just kept going. Okay. Her messages were laden with disgusting sexual stuff. And I'm not going to get into it because it was repulsive. Her daughter's 14 years old. And she was saying to her 14-year-old daughter the things that this fake girlfriend of Owen that Owen didn't have, was doing with him. Repulsive, pornographic crap to your 14-year-old daughter. And she's calling her daughter ugly and all kinds of things. Take your own life. That is not how you find out who is sending messages. She is the worst freaking liar on top of everything. She's just dreadful. So it's fascinating to watch her in the documentary going, oh, I only did this. Okay. Anyway, in September 13th, 2021 to February 20th, 2022, she carried out a harassment campaign against Lauren and Owen. The teens were bombarded with as many 40, 50 messages a day, which would contain threats and sexually explicit content. Exactly. To cover her tracks, Kendra used apps that we already went through that. Okay, to block the harassment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then it gets interesting here. Kendra has claimed, I appreciate people, because the people, I mean, they've turned into such a garbage site they have, but I appreciate this. They said the word claimed. And a lot of times people will say, they don't use the word claimed. They just go, she said, or this happened. And there's not true. It's a claim. So Kendra has claimed, thank you people, that suppressed childhood trauma led her to harass Lauren and Owen. As Lauren started getting older, I had things that were suppressed coming forward. A lot of it was previous trauma starting to resurface that I didn't know how to handle. When I was 17, I was raped, as she claims, because I'm going to probably guess that that's a freaking lie. And as my daughter was hitting those teenage years, I got scared. So what I did was told her to kill herself. tell her she was ugly. I thought that would be helpful. She's the worst. I mean, if you're going to make up a lie, can you do better? I mean, the atrociousness of it. So she claims in court that she had an undiagnosed mental issue. Yeah, it's called psychopathy, but that's not what she was talking about. And then therefore I had this unrecognized trauma. And when she became a teen, I lost my mind. I wanted to try to control the outcome of her journey. What you did, a horrible human being, you actually encouraged your daughter to kill herself. The outcome of her journey, in my opinion, which is why I've demonetized this video, because I want to tell you the truth. She wanted her daughter to kill herself. That is exactly what she wanted. And Lauren, I know you're trying to establish a relationship with the mother, and I'm going to get more into that. She wanted you to die because she then would be free of having competition from a prettier, younger girl. And she would get that great outpouring of sympathy. She would have given you the best funeral ever. You need to understand that, because you need, Lauren, to never speak to this psychopath again. She does not love you. That psychopath is using you for her own means. It's sick as all get out. And you need to know that. And everybody needs to know, if you got this kind of person in your life, you need to get them out of your life and stop giving them excuses for their behavior, because that's unacceptable, 100% unacceptable. So she's claiming, oh yes, when I was 17, I was raped. And as my daughter was hitting these teenager years, I got scared. So I wanted to control the outcome of the journey. I was afraid of letting her grow up, because you didn't want her to grow up. You wanted to kill herself so you could get the thrill of the outpouring of sympathy. That's how sick you are. I was scared of what could happen to her. If you were scared of what could happen to her, you would have protected her. You wouldn't send her messages telling her to kill herself. Get out of here. I'm astounded that this is what she said in court. If you don't understand this woman as a psychopath, and I'm not saying she is, because I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and I cannot diagnose. So how did she get caught? Okay, so the FBI did it. They got the IP address. They got her. They and you see it. You see her getting arrested, and this is where she's like, "Oh no, I don't want to leave my daughter." She's all like, "Sabi." She knows how to cry at least. She's a good actress. So she was arrested in December 2022 and charged with 2 counts of stalking a minor and 2 counts of communicating with another to commit a crime. In March of 2023, she pleaded guilty to the 2 counts of stalking, and a month later, she was sentenced to serve. And this is where I get really upset. 19 months to 5 years in prison. But guess what she got? Like the 19 months. This woman tortured her daughter, cyberstalked her daughter for 2 years repetitively, and her boyfriend, and all these kids in the school were being suspected of doing stuff to her. She absolutely tortured and abused tons of teens, not tons, but many teens in the school. She gets 19 months. She should have been in prison for 10 to 20 years. That's my opinion. She gets 19 months. Bad girl. And now she's out. So where is Kendra Licari now? Yes. Where is this creature now? All right. Kendra was released on parole August 8th of 2024 and will remain under supervision until February 2026, according to the Michigan Department of Corrections. She and Lauren are currently not permitted to see each other and should never see each other ever, ever, ever again. It's been about a year and a half since I've seen her, Kendra said in the Netflix documentary. We both know that we're with each other no matter what. I definitely think we can have a healthy relationship. I know we both hold that bond that we have close. As for Lauren, she wants to see her mom when the time is right and hopes Kendra can get the help she needs when she's out of prison. Being without that relationship is really hurting me. I think rebuilding a relationship will help both of us a lot. I love her more than anything, Lauren added. That really upsets me. I feel so bad for Lauren. Really, really do. She wants her mother back. She wants the mother she believes exists. She wants her mother. She wants the love of her mother. Because her mother is a good faker and a good actress until she started doing these horrible things to her. And even during while she was doing these horrible things to her, she was always there for her daughter. Because that's what psychopaths do. They pretend. And she let her had her daughter believe she loves her daughter. I love you. I love you. I'm here for you. Psychopaths don't love. People who do this to their children and push them to kill themselves do not love their children. And yet Lauren wants the relationship back. Yeah, she wants the relationship back because everyone wants to have a mother. And she got stuck with this woman who biologically produced her. But she has never been a mother. She's been a fake. And so Lauren somehow thinks that she's not, she had some little breakdown, breakdown, and therefore she's not really, what she did does not really represent her. It 100% represents her. I hate to say, Lauren, but your mother embodies every behavior of a psychopath. Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And she is not someone you should ever continue to have a relationship with. She's damaged goods, 100% damaged goods. And you need to move on with your life. You've got a great dad. I saw in the documentary that you and your dad were having a good relationship, and your dad seems to be a really nice guy who's woken up. Mm-hmm. Continue your relationship with your dad. Grow up to have your own children and be a good mother to them. But my God, do not bring this thing in as your grandmother. Do not take that chance, because one day when you leave your child with this woman and that child drowns in the pond nearby, yeah, because then she'll get attention and she will beat you out again. She wants to win over you. She doesn't care about you. She wants to win. She had this obsession, by the way, with Owen. She was like sexually attracted to the 14-year-old Owen boy because she wants to be that younger woman. And she sees her daughter getting all that excitement, the teen excitement you get when you're in a young relationship. She wanted that for herself. So she was willing to take that away from her own daughter to have that feeling for herself. Lauren, there's a great book. It's called Summer of My German Soldier. I guess I always forget. The Summer of My German Soldier. A book that I read when I was very young. As a teen, well, I wasn't very young. Well, I was young because now I'm 70, so I guess I was very young. I read it as a teen, your age. It was, I don't know whether a school requirement or whatever, but The Summer of My German Soldier. And in that book, I learned something, even as a teenager, because the girl, her parents, she lived in the South. Her parents were, the South didn't matter, but her parents just didn't like her. She was just, they treated her terribly. That she was just not the golden child. She was like the child they just didn't like because she was whatever she looked like, whatever her weight was. I don't know I can't remember the book entirely, but it's just, they treated her like dirt. And she had, because she was in the South at the time, she had this nanny who was black. She was a white girl, and she had this black nanny. And the nanny cared for her, treated her as a mother. And the Summer of the German Soldier issue is just she was a Jewish girl, and she fell for this German soldier who was not Jewish, and obviously a German soldier. And it's a fascinating book, so go read it. But the reason I would like Lauren to read it is this. There was a statement made in that book which affected me for the rest of my life, because the girl in the book was so upset that she couldn't gain her parents' love. And the nanny, or the man, she was the woman who took care of her, told her, the problem is your parents are damaged goods. If you go into a store, like a thrift store, you don't pay full price for damaged goods. You pay a little teeny bit of money because that's all it's worth. The problem, she told the girl, is you are paying full price for damaged goods. And you need to stop doing that. Lauren, this is damaged goods. You are paying full price for someone who doesn't deserve it. Now, some people have a great mom, and that great mother should be treated wonderfully, and you should be paying full price for that great mother, because if you're that lucky to get a great mother, that's fantastic. But you didn't get one. You got damaged goods. It's not your fault. You just got the bad roll of the dice. For whatever reasons, it just sucks for you. You just got the bad roll of the dice. Don't pay full price for damaged goods. Stop giving her your love. Stop thinking she's giving you love. Pay full price for your dad. Your dad is the real one in your life. He's the real decent human being. Give him all of your love and caring, and develop your relationship with your dad, not with this psychopathic creature. Walk away from her. I know you don't want to do it because you have all those supposed memories. They're all fake memories from your childhood because she was playing a part, and it wasn't true. So make your relationship with your father, and one day be the mother that your children will absolutely be thrilled to have. Be that mother. Let them pay full price for you, because you will be a decent human being. You will be a good person, and keep your children away from this woman. Never bring them around her, ever, 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 because she's dangerous. Because if she would do what she did to you, my God, she should never be around your kids. And this is just for all of you people out there. When a person exhibits psychopathy, when they exhibit evil intentions, when they do things that are dangerous, and they don't care about your well-being, don't care about your kids' well-being, whatever they're doing, whoever it is, whether somebody you're dating, and that person you're dating doesn't treat you nice, why are you dating them? Don't date them. Don't marry them. And if your kids have friends that are not really friends, that these people treat your child terribly, you got to work with your child to say, hey, that is not your friend. That is not someone who's doing you a damn bit of good. And if you're married to somebody like this, you got to wake up earlier, because if only Sean Licari had recognized that his wife was a pathological, lying, manipulative creature early on, he might have prevented all the hell his daughter went through. But he didn't recognize it, because here's the thing. Most people do not recognize female psychopaths. They keep going, oh, they just have some issue. Oh, they have, I don't know, everything. They'll come up with anything to excuse women from the horrible things that they do. They kill all their children. Oh, it's like, postpartum depression. If they do kill other people's children, oh, they must have had, I don't know, some other issue going. They come up with excuses for women all the time, because people do not accept that women can be psychopaths just like men. The difference is, when men are psychopaths and violent, when they want to get their thrills, being a serial killer might be really cool. Women are rarely serial killers in that sense. They don't really want to go out and rape and murder people, although some women will help their husbands rape and murder people, like Carla Homolka and Paul Bernardi. They'll do that. And there's a few, like Aileen Wuornos, who picked up guys and, as a prostitute, and then killed them. She shot him. She's like, hey, this is fun. Yes, they do exist. But for the most part, women do not act in the same way as male psychopaths. They focus on victims that they can control and they're smaller than them. That's why they kill babies. That's why they do things to teens. That's why they choose those methodologies, because they don't have the physical strength that male psychopaths has. And also they don't have the rape thing isn't as much fun for them. I mean, male psychopaths, they like, oh, I can add that in. That'll be great. They don't have that for the most part. Not that they can't, but for the most part. So what happens is law enforcement tends to downplay female psychopaths. And here we are on Netflix. Only one guy, this guy. He is the superintendent. That's a superintendent. His name is Bill Chillman. Bless you, Bill Chillman. You're the only one who said this. I think it was Cyber Munchausen's case. Yes, Bill, you are the one who's right. I didn't hear that from the detective. I didn't hear that from the FBI. I didn't hear that in the court. I didn't hear that from anybody else, that this woman is a psychopath. Why not? Now, mind you, there's a lot of editing that goes on in documentaries, and I have been edited like crazy in documentaries, and I might have said psychopath 10 times over, and it never comes out because they don't want me to use the word. Because it's psych. Well, for whatever reasons, they don't want to use the word. So I don't know if the others said something. So I'm not gonna say they didn't. So it could have been said a million times, but Netflix did not include that, or it never was said. I just don't know. But thank you, Superintendent Bill Schulman, for saying, at least you're saying, I think it's Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Yes, you're correct. It was, which means that's a behavior of a female psychopath. Thank you for saying that. And we need to understand that whether it be a female or a male, whether it be an adult or a teen, when somebody is abusive, bullying, and stalking, it is not acceptable behavior, and we need to crush it as quickly as possible, regardless of what relationship we're in, whether we're in a marital relationship, a dating relationship, online relationship, just texting, whatever it is, it needs to stop immediately. Because no matter whether a person likes you or dislikes you, they have no reason to be abusive towards you. Period. And if somebody is abusive towards you, this is my public service announcement. You need to stop the abuse ASAP. Don't allow it to happen. You don't deserve it. Regardless, some people say, well, maybe I did deserve it. Okay. If you have behavioral problems, you need to check those out. But if somebody's out there just harassing the living crap out of you, stop it immediately. Just don't allow it. Don't allow it. And you got to help your kids and your grandkids to stop this stuff from happening. Because, I mean, this thing blew up entire schools. Children, there were teens that were accused of being the cyberbulliers. They thought the teens were doing it because, quite frankly, this is pretty rare. So nobody thought a mother would do this to her own child. So I don't blame law enforcement on this or anybody else who thought it was another teen, because it was an anomaly. But regardless of whether it's a teen or an adult, your child has the right, your grandchild has the right to grow up and have a happy childhood. And I know the internet and social media have changed a lot of the way of life that we live, but you still deserve to be treated well. No one has the right to mistreat you. No one has a right to tell you to kill yourself. No one has that right. You have to stop them immediately and eliminate them from your life, including your mother, Lauren, because this woman wanted you to die. I'm sorry, it's a hard thing for me to even say to you. This woman would be happy. If you had killed yourself, she would have been happy about it. You think she wouldn't have been? Do you think she just had some kind of, no. She would have enjoyed what came after that. And I want Lauren to live a good life. Spend time with your dad. Move on with your life and cut her out of it, because she is someone who is psychologically disturbed and is not fixable. Psychopathy is not fixable. Okay. And I think it was kind of who was it? It was like I think it was Dr. Laura once talked about to a woman, and she said, your mother is basically a black widow spider. You know what I mean? It's like she's dangerous. She's this evil, like evil, dangerous spider. You can't play with her. You cannot play with her and give her a break and say maybe she'll change. She's not. She is what she is. You got to eliminate her from your life. And I know that's a very difficult thing because you want something that you can't have. And then a lot of people, I just want to say, a lot of people go through lives not getting what they want. So there are some children who come from let's say, for example, children who are adopted, and their bio parent neglected them. Bio parent didn't want them. Then they get adopted into a family who does want them. And sometimes those adoptive children keep wanting to reconnect with a bio parent as if there wasn't a good reason why they did what they did. And sometimes it can be, but a lot of times there isn't. And they're brokenhearted because they want to believe something that just isn't true. So I always say to people, you can't always get everything in life. I mean, life is just a kind of a crazy thing. Sometimes you get good stuff, sometimes you get bad stuff, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get snake eyes. But it doesn't mean just because you got snake eyes once, you cannot re-roll those dice and get something better because you are now in control. Lauren, if you ever see this, you are now in control as you are an older child. You are, I think, well, they're 14, and I don't know how old you are now, but you're turning into an adult. Take control of your life. Don't allow somebody else to control it. Don't allow illusion to control it. Don't allow wishful thinking to control it. Choose to be who you can be, the best you can be. Choose a great person to eventually have a relationship with. Choose a great person to be a father. That would be wonderful. Choose to have children and be a good mother to them. That's what you control. You don't control the past. You don't control who bore you just because she could get pregnant. And it happened to be that, unfortunately, the woman who got pregnant with you may be a psychopath. But you got a dad who is not one. And there's many other people in the world who are not. Give your attention and your efforts to the people who deserve it, not to those who do not. Because once you go back to this, you are throwing your life away for someone who doesn't deserve to be in your life. And I say that to everybody who's out there. Make sure that whoever you hook up with in life, whether it be a friend or a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, make sure that they are good people. Why do you want to hook up with somebody who's not going to do you good? If somebody's going to mistreat you, somebody's going to abuse you, somebody who doesn't care about you. Hook up with somebody who's a decent human being. Value yourself enough to choose someone who will treat you well. Okay, I'm going to stop. I am. So anyway, that is my thoughts on this documentary, and I hope it helps some of you out there. Again, if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe because this is an educational channel, and I always hope that what I put out here does somebody some good. And so thank you very much for being here, and hopefully Netflix won't completely remove this video because it's concerning to them for some reason. Anyway, thank you. Bye.